All right, so welcome to another video from the chart readers. So we are going to revisit the meme stock sector. I started with this last time. I'm going to say it again. I sincerely do not mean to offend anyone if these are actually not meme stocks to you. If you are long on them, if you sincerely believe in the business case, whatever the reason might be. Nonetheless, I'm just kind of putting them in this group. So as we did last time, we're going to start with the king and kind of work our way through 6 tickers here. So we will start with GameStop. As always, so we're looking on the daily. This is our ticker, and then I'm going to lower these 2 lower indicators for now. We'll start with the moving averages. Not going to lie, I actually thought I drew some horizontal lines here. It looks like I did not, so I'm going to do a little bit of that live, but let's talk a couple things out real quick. So you can clearly see, and again, if you've seen any of the other videos, almost the exact same thing happens, right? Early April is essentially where we lost the 8. From there, we lost, what is this, the 200, the 100, the 20, and the 50, right? Like just between about a month's time, we lose all of them. It looks like in this late May area is where we first start to take over the 8 again. We obviously take a bunch of them, and then this 200 ends up being a pretty hard wall. Though it was a wall, a couple things do happen if you're watching this. The slap down is actually stopped by the 20, right? Obviously, you want to stay over the 8, but as you start to regain a lot of these moving averages, hopefully they end up being a support for you, right? Like my horizontal ones that I draw are obviously horizontal, right? These ones move along with the data, and hopefully it's catching it and kind of giving you a way up, right? And that's pretty much what happens here. We get slapped down by the 200. It actually gets stopped by the 100 here, right? But again, between the 50, the 100, and the 20, we really never lose any major. And then right here, actually the 50 saves us, right? So it's really comforting to see moving averages do that. As you take them and you fail another one, you at least hold the one you got. So kind of fast forwarding a little bit closer to where we were. Look, there's been 1, 2, 3. That's a pretty close one, but 4, 5. A couple actual breaks, 6. There's been 7 attempts at breaking this 200 on the daily. And if we can break this 200 and obviously stay over the 8 as well, there's really a lot of blue sky up here, right? So the next real big challenge is going to be getting over this 200. And if it does, with a little bit of confirmation, again, great things will happen. Just one thing to note here. Look, obviously I always say you want some confirmation, and it kind of looked like it happened here, right? But again, right here, and I've mentioned it a couple times, if you lose a full day right after it, for me, that's generally a sign of, hey, bad things are probably going to come. Look, that clearly was the opposite right here, right? We lose the full day, but then a monster gain the next day. So, nothing's written in stone, right? Always kind of see how the market opens and play accordingly. But generally, if you lose a big one, I'm always skeptical and believe there's going to be more to come. We've seen a good 4 day of continual growth. It looks like we've bounced off this 50. It looks like we're about to regain the 20. Hopefully we'll go over the 8, and really hopefully it goes over this 200, right? So let's make a couple lines just to guide us. This time it'll for sure be here for the next video. I'll put one right here just to give a nice little few step up. Let's see, what does this one look like? I like that. Okay, I'll put that there. And then let's use the bottom of that guy. And look, again, as I make this, it's good to see that I hit right here, right? Again, just little simple things. This is how I kind of cross-check if I'm kind of making these correctly, right? I really haven't been doing too much of just like ignoring an original line I make. But yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I change the ones I make, right? But look, I think this is a pretty good up and down step for GameStop. Again, I didn't really need to make one in between this because you can basically see this purple line is actually that line in between, right? So I needed to break this 200, that's for sure. I think personally, again, this is not by any means any recommendation, but the safest play here, break the 200, right? What is that? break 35.20. You see on the left over this there is 200 average, 35.20, and then ride that to 37. That's easy 10% right there, right? So that's a pretty safe play. Obviously, if it breaks that, keep going and all that. But yeah, I would really want to get over that 200, I think, before I made any plays. Because again, look, we can easily get slapped down one more time, right? So yeah, this is a good view, I think, on GameStop. Climb up, climb down. What do the lower indicators look like? Interesting. I actually would have guessed the MACD was above just because we had the 4 days. Again, we want green over red. We're at least over we're in the positive, which is good, right? So, but yeah, you generally want green over red. And here, actually, the RSI doesn't look great. So the lower indicators are kind of saying it might not have the momentum to break this purple line. Let's see what that looks like. Again, with these meme stocks, it's very easy to just kind of give the finger to these and almost do the opposite if it gets wild volume. So, but nonetheless, I'm real happy with this on game. So let's move over from, if one's the king, this one was easily the queen, right? So AMC would be next. Hey, nice. I drew lines here. I swear I thought I drew some for GameStop. Nonetheless, hey, check it out. What happened? We pretty much landed on our lowest line. We made this 1443 line, and clearly the last few days, this is what happened. And look, you can easily argue that there were a couple... Oh, no, I zoomed out the wrong way. Oh, let me just lower these. That'll be easier. You can easily see that this line right here was a pretty strong support. Or resistance, sorry. It stopped it here and came down. It basically ran up to this and then, you know, tried making its way here. But hey, I'm really happy with these lines. And hopefully you went back and kind of watched it, right? Again, few things to see. Number of days where we're riding over the 8. That's beautiful. Clearly we lose the 8 and, you know, we get a number of days behind it that fail. It does look like this 50 basically caught it. Really, you can say my line caught it, but in my head, I do see this as the 50 catching it, right? It actually never came too close to losing it. So I'm surprised I didn't make any lower lines down here. Again, you kind of watch these videos, you know I'm pretty optimistic. But I am going to make 1 or 2 lower lines here because I do think it's worth showing. Nice. You see I draw it basically based on these two, and we're right around the red. I like that. And then I think I'll put one more. I'm just going to lower it to a little closer to the bottom of that guy. I think this is a pretty good step. Again, all I really did was draw 2 lower lines because clearly all these original lines are still in play, right? We made a run to about half of them. We worked our way down. And then look at this bad boy up here kind of stalking us, right? The 200. So, hey, I actually sincerely hoped you used my last video to guide you on AMC because that is a pretty good view. Again, immediately, hey, I really like what I see here, right? We clearly got saved from this line. It looks like we took the 20, the 8, and possibly the 100 on a single day. So as long as we can hold above the 20, so even if we drop to 15.15 for lack of words, I would still call that a positive. Clearly, we would now want to run to 15.90 or higher, right? So again, how would I play this? Just like I said, right? If you open over the 100, let's start playing these lines, right? The next one would be here, then the next one would be here. You can try to ride this. You can maybe ride a little bit longer if it keeps going, right? So again, no financial advice. But definitely, again, if it goes down a little bit, even to this 15.15, I'm still going to call that a positive, right? So just at least close over the 20 for me tomorrow, and I'll be happy. Interesting. It actually looks, again, I'm actually really surprised that it wasn't over, especially after this nice little monster run. But MACD looks very similar to GameStop. RSI looks a little better. It looks like it wants to make a nice little jump up. So, and clearly the RSI was at least, yeah, it was really near 80, right? So I always say between 80 and 20, 80 and 30, give or take. So this fact that we're in the middle here, that could be good. That could give a nice little momentum run. All right, AMC, we had the lines and they worked well. So again, I hope you use them. So I've been watching this next one. I'll be real honest with you. NOK, Nokia. It did not run as heavy as I expected, but look, I know when we made this video, it was something around here. I think it was this first jump, and hey, it's still going up, right? Again, this day doesn't look great, and look at this. We basically come to test this top line, right? So, and on the failure of this one, we pretty much get caught on this 505 line. So. I hope you guys see these lines and you are using them to your advantage. So nice, a little extra reassurance to see 2 of 2 lines looking well. But yeah, basically we're playing in this. We still closed over yesterday. So I mean, it still theoretically could do okay. I don't like that we got slapped down so hard, right? There was moments where we were literally this high and then it just decided to go all the way back down, right? So that's not a great slap down. But the fact that we're higher than still every one of these days, even though it was red, is still somewhat okay. Better not go too low, right? I would not want to go lower than, man, that's actually the lowest I would feel comfortable with is 517. If we don't close over 517, I'd start to get worried. Again, let's make the run up, right? Try to hit 525, then 540, and really just start playing this 200 line. But no new lines are going to be made here. I think everything that we still have holds. And again, I really hope to use the last video to your advantage. Hey, look at that. MACD is actually still looking okay, but it looks like it's kind of curving, right? For all I know, it'll keep going if it gets a little boost, but there's definitely a little curve happening there, but nothing too bad, right? There's still really nice distance. That's actually a pretty healthy MACD right there. And then, hey, RSI looks pretty good too as well. We're a little high, right? We're a little closer to that 80 number than ideal. And then what was the peak here? So it looks like it's been comfortable above 80 before. So, yeah, we might actually see a chance at this 540 line. Nokia, looks like whatever this gap up was, looks like it might not have been too fake. We are halfway there. That's number 3 of 6, and we're moving into BB, so BlackBerry. I feel like this one's fallen off the meme kind of world. I don't see it as much, but hey, again, a number of things happening here, and our lines are still working, right? So between whenever the last video happened, we basically rode the channel of these 2 lines, right? We went all the way up. It basically was a catch of this 100 moving average and my line. We then end up coming down, actually pretty much to the exact line, to the dollar it ended, give or take. What was that? What did it close? It closed at 571. My line was at 570. Look at that, right? So we run our way back down, and then again, it looks like we back up. And again, look, this has been a very big resistance right here, right? We basically 3 times tried to break it, and it couldn't happen. So these 2 lines are still looking really good. I'm still happy with them. So again, all of these are kind of around the same area too. It's funny, right? Like a lot of these are not even in the same industry, but they're all in this little meme sector, and they're all kind of dancing around the same lines. It's pretty funny. RSI looks okay. It's a little on the higher side, right? But there's definitely still room to run if it wants to run. What did the MACD look like? Hey, MACD, the green is over the red. I'd obviously love to see a little more separation, but just kind of like I said with the other ones, I think the fact that the blue line and my line are so close, I think the play here would basically be once it breaks 613, try to ride that to 650, a little less than 10%. But again, that's about 10% right there, right? It looks like a small little gap and it only shows a couple pennies, but shit, a couple pennies add up if you know what to do with them, right? So that was BlackBerry. So the next one, PSNY. So Polestar. I do kind of wish I put this in. Oh shit, man. Look at what happens here. So this is, for lack of words, the opposite of what happens when I make these videos. So I don't know exactly when I made it. I don't know if I made this video on this day, or if it was after the tank. I can't imagine it would be, but shit, it might have been. I'm not going to pretend I'm Again, I don't go back and like practice these, right? Nonetheless, this is what I'll say. If I made the video before the tank happened, look, once you lose the last line, there's very little to save you, right? And what basically looks like it saved us was the start of the green, right? So It's real bad when you lose the. I really wish. I kind of regret not knowing what day I made this video. If I made it on 7/21 or before, man, these lines are amazing. Because again, once you lose the last one, it's horrible, right? It's simple as that, right? Obviously, the reverse happens. Once you break the top one, whoo, you can fly, right? So this was the wrong way to go for Polestar. And again, look, we lost this what was the floor is now the ceiling, right? There's so much that needs to happen, and one of the most important things, first get over the 8, then for sure get over 925 to come back into this original range. There's 2 lines I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make one basically right there. Really, I wanted to be, I think I'm a penny off, man. Look at that. So right there, we'll call that the top of that, and that was a little OCD right there. But yeah, I basically put it to the top of this, and then I rounded it to make it an even 9. And then I think I'm going to go to the bottom of this. I almost went to the bottom of this one, but it should be the bottom of this one. So unfortunately, we had to add 2 lower lines, right? So break 9 to get us back into the 925, and then hopefully make a run to the 20. But yeah, again, if I made this video before we went below 925, that alone should speak for itself, right? That's a huge drop. It really, really is, right? And the biggest drop came on the day that it looks like it lost the line, right? So the power of these lines, I'm telling you, they are magic when you know when to make them and how to play them. Look, there's not enough data for a single green or red dot on this MACD. Do we have any? Oh, we actually have RSI info. The RSI, though, the green is under the red, and there's really not much of a curve up, right? Immediately, step 1 is this thing needs to get over 9. I wouldn't touch, the 9 pretty much lines up with the 8 moving average. So, yeah, a little disappointing. I know a lot of people do like this stock. The last one that we're going to review is Urban One. So again, look at this again. Dang, I really am not sure if I made this video before we lost 521 or not, right? But again, once you lose the lowest line, there's a nice drop down there, right? And what 10% is 50, that's about a 5% drop. Again, it looked a little worse than it was here, but yeah, again, you don't want to lose the last line. As much as you want to break the top line, you don't want to lose the last one. There's actually, man, I got to zoom back to get some, yeah, I got to use these days here to make my next line. So I'll put one right here. I think on this guy. That's a little too high. I'm going to use this dude here. And then we'll put one in between those 2 right there. Okay, so that might be a little thick. I'm sure I can maybe make one in this little cluster right here, roughly around this 490 number. I think I'm just going to keep these for now. So again, though, Urban One, nothing spectacular at all, right? We're definitely trading under this 8, and by all signs, it kind of looks like we're on our way down to the next line, right? What do these lower indicators look like? Hey, okay, MACD is kind of trying to make its way up. What is that? Oh, hey, RSI actually looks okay. Interesting. Let me see where the weekly is on this. The daily doesn't look good, but maybe there's a line on the weekly. Okay, so check this out. So this is the power of kind of using different time frames to make your judgments. This daily looked ugly, right? There's very little down here. I had to zoom so far back to make lines, but those lower indicators were looking good, and it did not make sense. When I look at the weekly, we're pretty much right on the 200, okay? There's a good chance that it'll bounce off the 200, and it's pretty hard to see that on the daily. So that's a cool little thing to end this on, because this is actually the last ticker, and that's a nice little, hey, how do you do there? So if you actually watch the whole 19 minutes, you'll get this nice little thing at the end. So this was the meme sector. I hope you're learning from this. I hope you're seeing that these lines are real now that we've actually done a revolution, and and you'll see it, right? And next time I make this video, I'll know the date of this one so I can better describe everything we did. But I do hope you're trading safely. Check out the website, chartreaders.com, subscribe on YouTube and all that sort of noise. And hey, I appreciate all your time and I hope you're learning.